Sindel. Personally, one of my favorite characters on the roster. I really fell in love with her style, her personality, her scream abilities, and any attacks that uses her hair, which was back in Mortal Kombat 11. Now in Mortal Kombat 1, is currently one of the strongest and dominant characters on the roster, proven by recent tournaments, leaderboards, and pro players tier list, which surprised me because her damage is not all that great. To find out, I will go on this journey to spend 7 days learning Sindel, to understand why she became one of the top tier characters, and to see if anyone could play her. I'll be playing Combat League to see if I can climb up the ranks to Elder God. Currently, as a Johnny Cage loyalist, she will be my third character that I'll be trying out for the first time. I literally have 0 hours on her. By the way, if you haven't watched the other videos, go check it out. Link will be in the description. Thanks. Before I begin my journey, here are some goals that I need to complete by the end of this video.
Worship me.
Since this is my first time picking up Sindel, let me take a second and play with her buttons. And I gotta say, my first impression about her is that she feels more fluid this time around. Sindel was actually my second main in Mortal Kombat 11, and she played very differently there. In this game, Sindel was a hybrid of a mix-up, Footsie, and Zoner, depending on what variation you equipped. The only problem there is that she had slow normals, but what I really loved about her was because of these two reasons. No, not that. First, a lot of her moves looked very fun to use. Forward 4 was strong, kept you safe, and was a good pressure tool. Whip and Flip was also satisfying to pull off. Main Squeeze looked really cool to me. The Scream and the Banshee that came out was the icing on the cake. Speaking of cake, she had a cake crushing blow. Anyways, the second thing I love about her was that her mechanics gave you more ways to utilize it. For example, that Scream, you can hold it, or cancel it altogether. This means you can cancel it and use it for pressure or set us for another mix-up. This is what I'm used to after 4 years of playing her. But in Mortal Kombat 1, that is not the case anymore. She had turned into a one-type character, honestly missing a lot of her fun tech and iconic moves, which is a problem for me and will require me to learn her moves from scratch. After 30 minutes, here are some of the bread and butter combos I came up with that will give us something to start out with. Okay, now that we got some bread and butter combos down, next let's take a look at her normals, just to see what we're working with, because combos are not the only thing we need. It's important that we keep ourselves safe, but have ways to open the opponent up. Unfortunately, it looks like plenty of Sindel's moves are still on the slower side because they do take some time to start up, and some of them are negative on block. First, we have Mother Knows Best, which is -3 on block, which is alright. Then we have Kiss the Ring, and that is -1 on block, which is safe. Hair Triggered is -7 on block, which honestly should be plus, but oh well. Sheer Genius is -7. Beneath Me is -17. Split Kick is -5. And Turning Heel is +2, which is one of her strongest and more reliable strings. Brush with Death is -12 on block, but because of the range, it's safe. Flippy Flip is similar to her MK11 version, but slower on startup and is -5 on block. And lastly, Bend the Knee is -4 on block. It seems to me, based on Sindel's frame data, is that most of her attacks are not meant for pressure, but more about waiting in neutral and hit confirming the opponent, as well as using her projectile to zone them out, because her normals are not that terrible, but they are also not exactly the best. Some startups are kinda slow, so it's best to keep your distance. I know F1 is always used constantly, and it's effective because it does break armor from multiple hits it has. Not the tool I was expecting. I wanted forward 4 to return, but hopefully this is enough to do well. Now it's time to select the right cameo before we can give online matches a try. The hardest part about selecting the cameo is finding out which one is the best fit for you. I'm thinking that I'll be sticking between Motaro and Kung Lao for the most part, since they are kinda similar, and Kung Lao is the strongest and meta choice. I did hear that Sub-Zero and Serena are also a good fit because of their zoning and anti-zoning aspect, but it seems like a boring way to play, and I hate Serena too, so that will be a no-go. The reason why Kung Lao is the best choice out of all is because of the low hat. It gives Sindel, of course, another strong projectile for the opponent to deal with, aside from her standard projectiles. This can also be making her strings more safe on block. That and the mix-up potential is there. Teleport can also be used to escape if she needs it, but based on my experience, it sucks. Motaro's is far better. The spin is decent because of the combo extension, but honestly, people just use the low hat, which is just enough to make the person struggle, and the only reason people use Kung Lao. So with all of this, let's give it a try.
First, you must learn your place.
On day 1, I decided to play casual matches to familiarize myself with Sindel's moveset, and the first couple of matches were tough. Oh, I fucked up! I don't remember how to do it. Stupid!
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
What I hate about myself is that I rely too much on muscle memory. When I have to react, my mind goes back to when I played Garrus, and sometimes I try doing his attack strings, which leads me to hesitate and forget even the basic things. What's her wake up? I don't remember her wake up! I don't think I looked at her wake up yet. What's her wake up? What's her wake up? Is it Scream? That's not it. That's not it. God damn, okay. What the hell is it? Cartwheel! I honestly deserve losing this one for trying to learn combos first before anything else. Another thing I forgot to practice a little is the player 2 side of doing combos. My brain again is wired strangely. I have to practice doing combos on the other side as well, or things like this will happen. I can't perform combos on the other side. I don't know why. It's funny because once I'm in the left side, I have no problems doing combos. The rest of the day, I still lost a lot more games because I'm still not used to her doing her combos yet. 30 minutes is not enough time to learn anything, especially building muscle memory. I was switching back and forth and trying out other cameos, but I decided to finally swap to Mataro so I could go more on the offensive. I think I found a style and direction I wanted to go with Sindel.
Bow down, or be made to.
To improve my winning odds, we need to find basic strategies that I can use to open my opponents up. Something that isn't just zoning because that would put me to sleep. So I decided to look up on guides on her on YouTube, and here's what I came across. A great breakdown of the character. I suggest checking the video out if you want to master her. Anyways, here's what I learned. Sindel's main goal throughout the match is to set up or go back to neutral. This will allow you not to only be safe, but give you a chance to fish opponents using her effective Footsie tool. Since Sindel doesn't have the fastest normals, this is where you actually want to be. There are a few ways you can do this. Let me show you. First up, we have strings like splitting hairs. Starts up at 7 frames and is safe on block at -4. This resets you in neutral, which is great. Another thing that you're equipped with this is Royal Dismissal, which starts up at 9 frames and has a lot of pushback, but this time it is +5 on block, meaning that you get to keep your turn, and has a lot of pushback. Next, you have Follicular Homicide, which is the most important tool in Sindel's kit. This has a startup of 11 frames and is -9 on block. This move is safe because of the pushback and resets you to neutral. One thing I picked up on when playing against her is that this can break armor, so using this as a meaty is definitely recommended. The only issue is that this does start up as a high, so it can be mashed on. Also the fact that this can be flawless blocks, so if your opponent is looking for it, you could get punished. But regardless, you'll be using this move 90% of the time. Lastly, one of your projectiles can also reset you to neutral. Using Beneath Me, that is usually unsafe at -17, you can use Aerial Hairball to mix it up and put you back in neutral. Or use your low hairball as well if they want to continue ducking. With all of this at your disposal, you now have a great way to set up your F1 to catch opponents trying to move in. This will most likely work because Sindel has one of the best long-reaching Footsie tools in the game. So now that we know all of this, let's give Combat League a try.
I can break you with a scream.
On day 3, we started the day a little shaky, but by the end, my reaction time and conversions and overall damage output was getting better and better. Oh hell yeah! Hell yeah, dude, let's go! Oh, hell yeah, dude! At some point, I even made my opponent rage quit, which means we have completed one of our main goals for this video.
throne.
Quitality. Sindel wins.
In my current opinion, it could be very easy to play Sindel at first. You don't have to be that knowledgeable. I still don't know that much, but so far we're doing pretty well. Just keep your distance and use her F1, which is very strong in my opinion. But I noticed one thing. Sindel kind of feels bare bones on what you can really do with her. I was able to easily be effective because of Motaro and just her F1, but I do feel like she does lack direct mix-ups. Cartwheel is really her only effective overhead, but it is unsafe and it won't lead to any combos. Same with her lows, none of them lead to a combo. I do really miss a lot of the fun tools she had in MK11. Sure, you can equip cameos to help you with this weakness, but now that just makes her more cameo dependent. Meaning she has to use a cameo to greatly improve her gameplay. She does not feel complete to me honestly. Sure, you could pick her up and play, but in the long run against smarter and higher skilled players, this could be an issue. I could just see that I'll be forced to go back to Kung Lao, but for now let's just have fun.
Grovel and serve me, swine.
Remember when I told you that one of the things that I love about Sindel was because of her personality? The way she just wants everyone to bend down and kneel? Well, that attitude was brought into her mechanics. Let me introduce you to Inspire and Queen's Command. First up, Inspire.
Serve your queen.
This will make your cameo gauge regenerate a bit faster, so now you can have your cameo ready to go in an instant, depending if they already generate quick. But this will be great for those that don't. It honestly makes me really want to try her out with Sector. I love Sector, but the biggest problem with him is that he regenerates super slow. So having this will be perfect. Trying him out would be more in the future, or at the end of the video, we'll see. Anyways, the activation time is quite slow at 65 frames. It's something you can't always use, unless it's during a hard knockdown. Luckily, she does have one. Cartwheel would be great to use along with this. There is an enhanced version where this time, their cameo would betray them, which then denies their combo breaker, giving you a free combo. Great and all, but the enhanced version is much slower with the startup at 81 frames. Much more punishable. I don't see how anyone will be able to use this in a normal fight. Luckily with Motaro, you can use his tail turret to give you time to activate it. Next up we have Queen's Command. This will prevent them from using their cameo. This can only be done if your opponent's cameo is active. What I mean by this is that this can only be affected to the opponent's cameo that is currently on screen. So this is something you have to time in correctly. The enhanced version will allow you to steal your opponent's cameo ability for a short period of time, or after a single use. So if they have a strong cameo, then this would be a good tool to use. Now the only problem with this is that I never seen this used before. And I think it's because it's very difficult to time correctly. And not only that, ambush cameos are the only real ones used in this game, so they won't be on the screen longer than a second. So this makes it pointless in my opinion. Seems like a strong tool, but it will be never used. But for everything else, makes me now think, how will all this turn out in an actual match? Well, there's only one way to find out.
Serve your queen.
Enemy spotted.
Sit down, big brother.
kind of what I expected. You can't get much out of these tools since they are very risky to even activate or time correctly. Enhance Inspire has potential, but it's not what makes her top tier. I tried to use it, but I never got it to land. Let's continue to take a look at her other tools and see where her potential lies.
Submission is your only choice.
Let's take it to another level that would explain why Sindel is top tier. These strategies would be Levitate and the Keep Away game. Levitate is a special move that allows Sindel to hover in the air freely for a few seconds. You have a few things you can do while in the air. First up is any of your basic aerial normals attacks can be used. The second option is to do a forward air hairball. Lastly, you can cancel it altogether. This is where we get to the good stuff. This is because this could be much more than a combo extender. This can also be applied as a mix-up tool against an opponent. What makes the first option strong is that your basic attack will count as an overhead, and on block, you will have some good block advantage, meaning that you'll get to keep your turn. Now the only problem with this though is that up blocks exist in this game, so opponents can use it to punish you, so it isn't a foolproof strategy. You have to mix it up a little. So you can sometimes cancel it into a throw, which is an option. The next strategy is obviously zoning the opponent out. Sindel does not have the best projectiles because they aren't the fastest, but they are great for controlling space. If they are trying to counter zone you, then I can use a Motaro to reflect it back, essentially giving me another projectile. If they jump over them, then I can use an anti-air combo. This isn't a strategy that I'm a big fan of, but sometimes it is necessary against certain matchups who are right in your face all the time. Remember that air hairball? Well, if you time it correctly, you can stop mid-jump and throw a projectile that is very difficult to avoid. If they jump or crouch it, they will hit them regardless. So it's great to have this option that goes hand on hand with our pushback neutral tools. Anyways, let's see whether or not these strategies makes a big difference. Hell yeah, dude! Let's go! Hell yeah, dude, let's go! Hell yeah! Woohoo! Mix up, baby!
You're beneath me.
One thing I am sure of is that I'm glad I stick with Motaro as a cameo because he has saved me plenty of times. Oh shit! Let's go, Motaro! I don't know what just happened!
Final round. Fight.
tier. But it's time to talk about the real defining cameo that brings Sindel top tier. That would be Kung Lao's Vortex strategy. So to quickly learn everything about this synergy, I went back on YouTube and came across this video. A video from Shinlad, FGC, made a quick guide that shows you great setups. Let me show you what I learned. But first, let me introduce you to what Low Hat is for those that don't know. Kung Lao's Low Hat is a very strong tool, and it has been for many months since the game has been out. This is because of the versatility it has and how insanely fast it is to recover. Not to mention it is a mix-up tool, so it helps characters with the lack of lows like Sindel, for example. This is where we talk about his potential with Sindel's mix-ups. Instead of ending your combo with a hard knockdown, you can now hold a Low Hat to set up your levitate overhead pressure, creating a hard to blockable if they time it correctly. Now you have a viable mix-up option that is very insanely hard to avoid and block. Your opponent now will be hesitant to even punish your levitate pressure too. This is what makes Sindel top tier in my opinion, as well as making your string safe on block too. If you keep the right distance and use F1 with Low Hat, you are plus on block, giving you opportunities to keep your turn. This is similar to how Motaro works as well. Sindel becomes much scarier because she can do it all now. So with all that I learned, let's take it to online and see how it goes. Hell yeah! Hell yeah, boy! Fuck yeah, dude! Thank you, Low Hat! Hell yeah, dude!
Mine is the blood of... Be gone from my presence.
So, what are my thoughts after playing a week with Sindel? Well, she is different from the way I expected her to be. Coming from Mortal Kombat 11, she definitely seems more simplistic. She does feel stripped down from everything that made her fun in my opinion. The cancel screen mechanic, direct mix-up, lots of aerial attacks, and even more neutral tools are some examples that are missing. But let me say that being simplistic does not mean that they would play much worse. Actually, in the last game she was kinda difficult to play as, but here she was made much easier to play. And I see her potential in being very strong. And most of that comes down to a couple of simple tools actually. Her F1, wake up armor attack, pushback strings, and projectiles. With Kung Lao, she now has mix-ups and it's what was missing to make her top tier. She now feels like a complete character. To me, I had more fun playing with Motaro because he brings more things that I'm looking for. She becomes a pressure neutral character instead of being a neutral mix-up character with Kung Lao. I was curious to see her placement in the tier list after some characters receive some buffs and nerfs. She still plays very high and it honestly makes sense where she's at. Here is my record after everything. Again, I don't look to be the best or care much about stats. I experimented a lot on what works and what doesn't work and learned from there. To be honest, I forced Sindel to play like a rushdown character more than anything else, because I honestly don't like or have the patience to wait around. I was bored playing with Kung Lao because I don't have the pressure as Motaro. Although I'm not a major fan of her playstyle here, I do see myself continuing playing her from time to time, only because I like being loyal to my mains from the past games. But I definitely have more respect for the neutral and zoner characters in this game because it takes some strategy. Sindel's main weakness are characters that are faster when it comes to attacks and mobility. Also zoners who have faster projectiles. I realize it can be difficult to trade most of the time, but I'm glad that I picked Motaro to help me out. I do want to mention that I ran into Sonic Fox while I was learning Sindel on day 5. He was playing as Homelander, and he does also main Sindel. The game went as expected. I got obliterated. I had severe performance anxiety and forgot everything. I mean, he is a god at the game after all. At least I got some good hits in. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Sindel currently. I still have a lot to improve on, especially when it comes to her levitate pressure. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me master this character. If you guys did, give this video a like and subscribe for more. I'm not sure what I'll be picking next, so suggest that in the comments down below. With that, I hope you guys have a good day.